What is up, Clitorati? We're bringing back one of our favorites from season 1 because the topic of sex magic has been pretty hot over here in the Clit Talk Climax community. I mean, who doesn't want to cast spells with their orgasms? Please teach me more. We've been manifesting with our pussies and trusting our GPS so we can ongoingly rediscover and tailor our pleasure positive life. And you know what? You can do it too. Please welcome back feminine empowerment expert, Tantra love, sex, and intimacy coach, and certified spiritual psychologist, the pussy priestess herself, Josefina Bashout.
Yes, welcome.
What an intro.
Thank you. Yes, Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a very special episode for us because Josefina was actually in season 1 of Clit Talk with us. She is one of the few guests we've actually brought back. It was definitely a pussy-inspired moment. And if you would like an intro into sex magic, you can go back to episode 11. Can you believe it? We just recorded our 200th episode yesterday. So you were in episode 11 with us.
Yeah.
And now we have Josefina back with us for episode 216.
Wow.
Haha, we're still here.
It's amazing.
And growing.
That's right.
So if you want an intro, make sure go pause this right now. Go back to listen to episode 11. It's a fantastic episode. Lots of tweetable moments in that, and then come back and listen to this conversation. Okay, great. So, Josefina, we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here and be reunited
I just remember
again.
the first time we had you in the studio, your energy. I almost wish we were with you in person right now because we've moved remote, obviously, for a plethora of reasons, COVID, and it's easier. But there was something so special like being in your energy in person, and I can even feel it through the computer right now too. You have just this radiance about you that is so authentic, and I just really remember that feeling of being with you. So it's so nice to be with you again.
Thank you,
So
Lindsay.
we want our listeners today to leave with sort of a mini training, knowing how to do sex magic. We've introduced them to the concept. We've played around with it. And so can you sort of break down for us your routine and tell us exactly what you do? Like, is there certain things you do in the morning or in the night or throughout the day? Like, what are some simple ways that we can start to embed sex magic into our lives?
Well, for me, and the way that I look at and view sex magic is light energy. So sex to me is light. Sex to me is energy. Sex to me is magic. My body contains so much energy and light, the radiance that you're speaking about, Lindsay. So the way that I start my days is I have a tantric morning practice, and it's called radical radiance. So what you're feeling, what you're getting, that vibe is me consistently showing up to my radical radiance morning practice. And this practice, which actually is available to everyone because it's on my website, is something that has changed my life that I've been doing for 10 years because it is getting me into my body immediately. So what I find to practice sex magic is even before that, it's like, don't just go into the sex magic and go for the ritual. Build up the pleasure, build up the energy, build up the desire. And so for me, my day is starting waking up with movement, shaking, dynamic shaking, putting on different types of flow, stretching my body. As a woman identified, what I do is I also do a womb wellness practice. So there are certain yoga poses that I do, certain things specifically around my womb center. So that's laying on my back, going into inversions. Inversions are incredible for us who have a womb, because we're really detoxifying and cleansing, purifying that space. So when we go into our sex magic practice, that space is clear. That space is aligned. That space is extra juicy with purification, with our desire, with our connection. So when we show up to the sex magic practice, it is more than double potent in that arena, because we've already cleared out any of the things that are showing up in the morning versus compounding it during the day. So that's what I do in the mornings, is I'm always moving my body. I'm doing breath work in the morning as well, specifically working with bringing the energy up. So I do a pelvic rock. I also do a PC pump and squeeze. Margaret Anand calls one of these practices the inner flute. And she's an incredible, incredible teacher, a pioneer who really
what's a PCP
Tantra
pump?
A PC pump. So, PC pump. Yeah. So she uses that practice as the inner flute. No, different than PCP. A PC pump is where you're specifically working where your PC muscles are, right? Down into your pussy, where your PC muscles are, like your P muscles. And what you're doing is you're actively pumping it, right? So you're squeezing, and
I just started
to. I'm literally doing it right now. I can feel
Look at Katie's face. She's
right
definitely
now
doing it.
Yeah, your pelvic floor muscle.
You can squeeze that. It's your pelvic floor muscle, and it's that muscle that's right in the bottom. So you can squeeze that, and then you would breathe up and in, and then you can let it go and relax. Cool. So it's like you're literally breathing through your pussy as if she has a mouth, as she has lips. So I do the same thing with my genitals in the morning. I do the same thing with her. I'm like, and it feels really good. And I incorporate the sound specifically of ha. And the reason I say ha and I use the vibration of ha is because ha is the ancient syllable seed sound for the heart chakra. So it brings the energy up from our root all the way up into the heart. And then we just relax and release. And what that does as a part of a practice, I can see Madison's face is just like,
I'm on mute over here so that I don't affect the recording, and I'm booing and hawing. I'm like turned on now.
So that's a part of the practice. It is the turn on yummy energetics. And we can use just that energy of turn on to then visualize and pair it and match it with a visualization. So the way that I start my mornings is preparing my body and my vessel before I go into an actual ritual with myself. That would be more of a deeper dive. But I like to see sex magic as a way of being in life, creating magic through your everyday pleasures of being connected to your sexual energy is magnetic. It is magic because we are vibrating, we are emanating, we are inviting consistently things, experiences, people, opportunities, reconnections by being in our pleasure. We love to feel good, right? Sex magic is, yes, a ritual, and I can give you my step-by-step of how I do that in a ritual space. But I like to say that we can really use our sexual energy and our turn on to have a magical life and to live a magical life beyond just it needing to be in the bedroom or just a confined ritual. Would you ladies agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Goosebumps over here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm just thinking, like, should I be doing headstands with my son in the morning? Like, because I have a toddler that I'm with all day.
Yeah.
So for parents, I feel like this is kind of a manageable thing or a fun thing to do, to like dance around and do like some ecstatic dance in the morning. And if I did a headstand, I think my son would be pretty excited about that.
I think he would do them too.
Yeah, there's a way you can also incorporate your son into it by laying down flat on your back and then putting your knees up in tabletop, because your knees are up and inverted. And then your son could sit on top of your knees and hug. And my mom would do this to me as a little girl. Hug your knees and you lift your legs up and then you bring them back down. So here he is laying on you, and then you lift him up and then down. And then you lift him up and then down. So we call that the swing. But that's also you doing your inversions for your womb wellness.
Okay.
for your creative center.
I'm literally going to start do this after this recording because I'm in the process of weaning my son from breastfeeding, and we need something to fill up that space that's fun for us and connected. And then I'm also we're going for number 2. So this is like I could do that. I could do that in the morning. Thank you.
Yeah, it's easy. I want it to be accessible. I know that there's a lot of people that are busy, and I get a lot of messages from people asking me about how can they do embodiment practice or be connected. That doesn't take a lot of time because everyone is busy. So not all of us have the luxury of creating an hour-long sex magic practice or an hour-long morning ritual and embodiment, but we can create space, right? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes to just focus on our wellness and feeling good for the sake of feeling good, not because we're producing, not because we're performing, not because we're being told to, but just because we deserve it, because it's our birthright to feel good. Simply because we're alive, we deserve to feel good. We deserve to feel pleasure. We don't have to earn it. We don't have to do a gazillion things. We don't have to prove it. That is a part of owning, really owning our inherent worthiness. And when we own that worthiness, we own the pleasure, the magic that comes along with that inherited worthiness. What I love is the majesty that comes with that.
Well said.
I love that.
The majesty.
Boom. A woman.
A woman.
A woman to that.
And when we say sex magic, is it always masturbation?
So it doesn't have to always be masturbation, right? And that's a piece that I actually wrote down in my little notes that I wanted to talk about, because I do hear a lot of teachers speaking specifically about, going in and going into a penetrative space and pleasuring yourself. And it has to be literally like clitoral, genital stimulation. And there's got to be the deep dive in that way. Sorry,
okay. We're live. It's real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, there's something going on outside. So I find that there's a misconception that it has to be penetration and that we have to grab our vibrator, grab our crystal dildos, and we need to do the practice and then sit down. And the purpose of it is to then penetrate ourselves. So then we're being fucked open so our dreams can come alive because we're being penetrated, and it's this penetrative force that's opening us. And yes, there's truth to that. However, dealing with women who have had trauma and those who maybe are not comfortable with the penetrative aspect or penetrative orgasms, that could bring up more work to do that would actually have a backlash effect, which would just bring up more trauma to work and heal, which is a beautiful blessing. But it could turn them off to wanting to explore deeper into the sex magic practice. So for those that want to do sex magic, one of the first steps is creating a space for yourself, right? So step 1 is creating a very safe space for yourself where you'll be undisturbed, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you decide to do it. But the intention is to create a space where you're not going to be disturbed, so you can be 100% connected. You're focused, your mind, your body, your energy is all with you and all with your desire. So creating a space, a sacred space where you won't be interrupted. I like to light candles. I like to put on some vibey music, set the mood, set the tone, right? Get it feeling really good, sensual, juicy, sexiness, just because that helps us. Yes, it's beautiful and maybe it's cliche, but it also helps our body relax because it gets us into the senses. So we've got the sight of beautiful things, the smell of really yummy things. The mood gets our body to be calm and relaxed, right? So there's a purpose to that besides it just being sexy and yummy, right? So for those that are more logical in it, the second step is being aware of our breath. So conscious breathing. So like I just gave you that little bit of that practice of doing that PC muscle, right? Your where your genitals are. So the pelvic floor muscles, you're doing that breath. Simply breathing in from your mouth, from that open mouth. And not forcing it, really just allowing your breath to let go. I'm already getting
I'm like so relaxed.
just really relax. It's so relaxed because we want to not be contracted. We don't want to be holding. We want the energy to flow. That's hence where the magic comes in from. And anything like you maybe spoken before, orgasms, like we think we clench down. We don't clench down for our orgasms. It's actually the more we're relaxed, the more of the energy can flow through our body, the more pleasure we can receive, and the more heightened everything is. So when we relax into that breath, we let go. And through our breath, we set our intention. So step 3 is really, from my practice, it's setting an intention. So reflecting on what you would like to create as you start to feel that relaxation, you're able to tune into your desire more deeply. Because now you're creating the ha sound. You're tuning to the vibration of your heart, right? When we're born as babies, the first things that our parents know that we're alive, that we're in there, is our heartbeat. Right? There's that deep intelligence. So bringing our sexual energy without the penetration through our breath to the heart to feel relaxed, and then setting an intention of what am I desiring to create right now inside of me, inside of my pleasure, inside of my body, right? So step 3 is really setting that intention. Reflect on, what would I like to create right now, in my life? Maybe it's my sex life. Maybe it's my relationship with my husband. Maybe it's my money. Fuck, maybe I want to be a sexy millionaire.
Who doesn't want that?
Right? What is exactly what do I want? But really being clear on one intention. And I say that because we can create, I want all these things. I want to, I want $1 million. I want to be a sexy millionaire, and I want that partner, and I want that job, or I want to travel. And we can send out multiple desires. And so when I work with sex magic specifically, it is one desire for that practice. You can alternate on it the next day, pick a different desire, sure. Right? So you don't have to just be stagnant in one thing over and over and over and over again. Sometimes I do focus when I'm really excited and I'm supercharged about that one desire manifesting. I will focus on that same one to bring it to life. But I always remind us all and give permission. Don't be stagnant. Do what feels the best to you. If that next day you want to focus on manifesting something else that's not what you've been manifesting on, go with what feels right. That's where the energy is the most potent and alive. So trust that pull and go with that space. So now now you've gotten to the place where you have a safe space. Now you've got your breathing, you're coming into conscious breathing, right? Now you've got that intention around what your desire is and what you want to manifest. So now here, step 4 is about really raising the energy. So without penetration, one of the ways that we can do is a cupping, which I really love. And I don't hear many teachers talking about that as a practice. So taking your finger like a little cup,
Let's all cup our pussies
literally
on air right now.
let's all
do it.
cup
We're
our
gonna cup our
pussies.
pussies together.
So we take it right here, and then you cup it over right where you're touching the entry point of your pussy and covering the clit. So that's a personal preference. You don't have to be for it to.
I'm going inside.
I'm staying over my clothes.
Go. Okay. Right. Again, depends on your lifestyle, right? Depends on where you are, how comfortable you are. But you could do this when you're at work if you've got a 5-minute break, right? 10-minute break. You can. So cup. And then I like to either put my other hand on my heart, or I like to put them both and cup my other hand in front of. So I'm like sitting there with it. Okay. So I'm like a little
Now, when you say the
so
opening,
one can be
do you mean
here.
the lips or like the vulva, like the
vaginal canal.
So great question. So where I like to go is where the labia is. So I don't go right at the entry point of the vulva, although the bit of my pad is right like kissing. But I like to really cup around where my clitoris is, where all that pleasure and all that sensation is, and right around where the lips are. And then using my finger as an energetic to just gently be on the top of where my vulva entry is. But I don't go into it, and I'm not like cupping right on that entry point. Does that make sense?
I'm just going to touch my vagina the way you tell me to.
Yes, I'll tell you how to touch yourself. So holding that, right, and you can immediately feel heat. You can feel sensation. And then what I like to do for those that are again not going into penetration, I like to breathe through the cupping, so closing your eyes. And then taking a nice deep breath if your hand is on your heart, breathing in, cupping through, and same breath. In and out of the mouth. And then from here, start to raise your energy by gently adding a hip rock. And I do everything in and out of the mouth. So it's like breathing to the back of the throat.
Now you're contracting when you breathe in, right? You're contracting your pelvic floor.
Not just yet, because you're doing what I want you to do, because in the mind I want you to add the contraction. I want you to add the contraction after you feel the connection. The reason why is if you're really comfortable, add the contraction. If you're just beginning and again, you're uncomfortable with penetration, there could be too many things that are happening at once when you add that contraction.
That's what I was like. I feel like I'm having to consciously do all the things and it's not all happening at once.
Right.
Madison's in
exactly.
Is in it right now.
Madison's in it.
Muted herself.
So for those that are more advanced,
and having her own experience.
She's like,
I just imagine people in their cars just listening to us breathe right now. They can't see us. Thank you.
If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see
You can see this might be a better YouTube episode.
So no, we're not going to pump. Good question. So I showed you how to do the pump ahead of time, right? So you knew how to do that. We're going to bring that in when we go to step 5. Step 5, it's easier to bring it in, which is let the orgasmic energy flow. That's where we bring the pump in instead of the penetration. Okay, so we've got the safe space. We're connecting to the breath, right? Without the pump, just bringing in the right. Okay, there we've got that. Now we've got the breath synced to a desire. So what is that desire that you have? So now you've got your breath, you've got your desire, and you're setting your intention. Now you're going to raise the energy. As we're raising the energy, step 4, you're going to add the rock, right? So it's just breathing and rocking while you're cupping. Don't focus on the squeezing yet, right? This is just to raise your energy from your root, from your genitals into the heart, because you're connecting one hand onto your genitals. You're feeling the heat. You're consciously being aware of your breath with the ha sound. So you're bringing the energy up into the heart and releasing it. And because your hand is cupping your genitals, your pussy, your breath and your awareness goes right back down to your pussy and your genitals. So you start to create this circuitry of breath and energy that with a little bit of practice and with your hand cupping keeps you connected to your pussy, keeps you connected to your pleasure center. Yeah?
I like that.
So now
I feel like
we're
this is
doing
something
that.
I'm going to do
Good.
on my own after, but I'm really enjoying watching Madison.
Yeah, Katie's going to do it on her
Her
after.
experience.
Madison's going to do it right now live in the studio.
She's like live in the studio.
Full blown over
So
here.
what will full on? I could see your
was
pleasure.
beautiful.
I love it. So that is one of the ways that you can practice. And then as what we'll do is that then with the step 5 is letting the orgasmic energy flow. That's when now we're going to pair it with the squeeze of the pump. So we're still cupping, we're still breathing, and now we're adding the squeeze or the pump in. Now, there are 2 ways that I've learned this. And this is going to be for what feels the best to you in the beginning. When I first learned how to do this practice with the adding the pump in, it was breathing in, and then with my ha, I would squeeze the pump upwards on my exhale.
That feels more natural to me.
So that actually is the way that I've learned in my tantric practices. And that is what feels the best for me personally. But I know that some women, some femme-identified women, feel better squeezing on the way up because it helps them breathe more deeply. And then if they're wanting to work with relaxation, they let it go on
Yeah,
the
that feels more
exhale.
natural to me.
So I wanted to bring that in.
Right.
Because there's the idea of, well, am I doing it wrong? This doesn't feel natural to me. This feels off. And so the idea that maybe something's wrong with us or we're broken, I wanted to really debunk that. Do what's natural to you. Don't just do what someone tells you to do. If your body wants you to do something else, listen to your body. That's where the magic flows. Because if you're listening to your body and you're listening to where she's guiding you to go, that's going to amplify your connection to her. That's going to amplify your relaxation. That's going to amplify the energy moving up into your heart and supercharging your desire and your vision, because you're not going against what feels normal and natural to you.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
It's very good advice.
I mean,
It's easy to forget when you're someone who wants to do it right, you know? Like,
it seems so logical when she says it. You're like, oh yeah, do what works, don't do what doesn't work.
okay.
Yeah. And that comes from wanting to perform, right? As I said this earlier, it's not about performing. It's not about doing just what the teacher tells you to do and going against your own body's wisdom. We're so conditioned and trained to just do what we're told or do what, follow the leader or do what that teacher is doing. But adopt it if it works. Adapt some of the pieces. If it doesn't, abandon it. Like, you are your own inner priestess. You are your own inner sex priestess, wise woman. Listen to your pussy. Listen to your body. She will tell you what really is going to open her and amplify her. But if the mind is, you need to perform this way, we're wrong or we're broken, then you're immediately stopping the practice, because now you're focused not on your desire. You're focused on performing. You're focusing on getting it right or what's wrong with you.
I have a quick question. Speaking of that, I can't seem to take my hand off of my pussy now. Do you have any tips for that?
My hand is on my pussy a lot of the times of the day. She just kind of rests there and hangs out there. And what I like to do with that practice is I'll start from the cupping, your question, instead of just removing her off, taking our energy center, or again, think about, and I'm going to use it to sex because we all love sex. Think about penetration, because we're doing this for non-penetrative. When your partner just pulls out immediately and you're having an intimate moment, what do you feel?
Abandoned.
Whoa.
Some feel abandoned.
A little bit, yeah.
Some do. Absolutely. Yeah. What else? I'm curious hearing from the other two.
When I
of
take
you.
my hand off my pussy?
No, if you're having sex with your partner and you're in a deep place of pleasure and relaxation and just feeling the magic, and they instantaneously pull out and pull their energy away from you.
That does
Like in the middle of sex or like at the end of sex?
Either one.
that
either
doesn't
one.
happen
It
with
kind
my
of takes me out of the moment, I think. I was just like, oh, wait, the magic is gone. And then when it's like if we're switching positions or something.
Yeah, I think I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, it's all about you. That was did you want to check in with me to see if that was feeling good for me?
Okay, yeah. Right? So look at all those same pieces. So same thing with us, our own inner masculine, our own inner lover. So if we're so just quick, like, okay, cool, we're done. Hands done, gone, I'm away. There's the practice of actually staying with your energy, not withdrawing and retracting quickly, being done with the practice. So as Madison asked about the hand, we don't want to just remove our hand so quickly, just like we wouldn't want the energy of our partner or our beloved to pull out when we're in a magic moment. We want to bask in it. We want to elongate in it, right? So we want to feel the cupping. We want to feel the sensations, the heat, the warmth, bask in it, breathe in it. And then I like to lightly slide, right? Like tickle, touch, slide it up to my womb space.
I'm doing it.
Give my womb a little rub. And then I like to bring it up to my heart space. So the energy hasn't left. It's just now in my full body that I bring it up to my breasts. And then I bring it into the heart that I've just been breathing into. And right there's that connection of our root and heart chakra together. We didn't withdraw. We didn't pull anything.
That was a nice transition. I see what you mean. Like just ripping it away from you. It felt like no, but like the the transmutation of it up through the heart chakra. Then I'm like, I feel complete.
Yeah, I think when I'm done with sex, like I'm ready for my partner to get off of me, but this is a way for me to like continue like the thing. Like I'm actually like, okay.
I'm like the opposite. Like I don't
want to lay there with my partner. Like,
see, I want to feel my partner's penis go completely flaccid inside.
Oh, I don't want that.
I like that. I like that feeling too.
Yeah.
I like that feeling as well.
I
do. I love all of it. I just love the connection. Well, because one of the tantric practices is to have that as a practice where we are evolving our sexuality. And there is one of the rituals in the practice of having your partner put their flaccid penis inside of you, which goes into a ritual of helping to transmute their own shame and judgment around their penis needing to be erect all the time, and our own thoughts or psyches around, again, what feels good in our body. Can we enjoy a flaccid penis, or do we need them to always be super hard and erect? It's a transmutation of just the primal aspect of the fucking, and allows us to go into the higher heart, which is so beautiful. And that is such a sensitive topic for men around making sure they look really hard and strong. And there is that men have genital shame just as women do.
In some ways, I'm almost more interested in my partner's flaccid penis, but he won't let me, explore it. So I'm going to tell him this is a tantric practice.
Yes. I'd love to run this practice by you. I've incorporated it into my sex magic, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I got so when I do sex magic with my husband, which by the way is we created as part of our sex life with each other to incorporate sex magic together, because it was only a solo practice really for me for most of my time using it. And so now we do it about 1 to 2 mornings a week together as our meditation.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Oh my God. And it took so much. It took so much just like loving enrollment over 2 years for him to be like, I want to do this with you now. And I was waiting for that because I didn't want to be pushy and push it on him and all that.
That's the way. Yeah. It's the way. The invitation. The loving, sexy invitation with patience.
Thank you so much for acknowledging that. And so I was talking to my friend's Tantra mentor was at her house for dinner. And I asked him, like, what's your top tip? And she's like, complete the circuit. So when he ejaculates on you, because I shared with her what we do is my husband ejaculates on my body. She said, take his semen and bring it all the way up your chakras, all the way to your throat chakra, all the way to your third eye and onto your crown. So I've been doing it. I've been getting myself sloppy after, and and then, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on, is that effective? Or is that just some extra, woo-woo magic to add to the mix? I mean, does it really matter to complete the cycle by rubbing your partner's semen all over your body and your hair?
Valid question.
Sounds like
to pull a little something about Mary.
It is. I know it is a valid question, and in the practice for when I look at the lineage lines around like red tantra, that is a part of completing the cycle of bringing it through the entire chakra system. If your partner isn't, having an orgasm or climaxing, he's not coming inside of you, right? He's pulling out. Then there is that aspect. You have to smear it everywhere. You could, what I've enjoyed doing is actually anointing myself instead of smearing it everywhere.
It's a little dot.
I actually take it. Yeah, I actually take it and I actually do it in my belly, and then I'll rub it here, and I'll rub it in the solar plexus. I'll rub it in the heart. I'll rub it in the throat. Maybe I'll even just in the throat.
Is that your pussy hand?
That is my pussy
Me
hand.
too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In the throat, in the third eye, in the top of the, and into the top of the head and the crown. You don't have to always do that, So yes, there is a thing of completing the circuitry of energy. But what I've also explored as well is just creating a sacred moment together instead of doing all of that, and coming crown to crown. And actually just sending the energy up crown to crown instead of having to do that and get all sloppy and messy, which is great, but not everyone is into that. So to be able to make it again accessible to meet people where they are potentially in their experience with having semen and their experience with bodily fluids, another beautiful way is to actually come back into the lotus kiss, where you, even though he's ejaculated on you, it's like it's his cum. I sit on top of my partner and we'll come back into Yabulam and we'll come together, me straddling him sitting with me, and we'll come heart to heart, even with his semen on me. And by the hug and the breathing, we just breathe everything back up and bring our foreheads together to kiss. And that also completes the cycle.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah. And I love that. It's a bit more romantic. It still completes the cycle, and it really cultivates more intimacy in the sexual practice. And that's what I really love. That's what I focus on. Is there are lots of crazy, wild rituals to do with bodily fluids and all these ways to play with energy. And yes, that is one of the more reasons. But I also don't every time I'm doing that, I don't want to have to go wash my hair every single time. I don't want to have to be the one that's always sloppy and messy. I don't want to do that every single time. So I lovingly enroll or invite him into closing the cycle with me. We started the cycle together. We can close the cycle together by coming into an embrace, by straddling me again, by holding me as your woman, by me looking in your eyes, by us breathing into our heart and getting gooey together, kissing foreheads together, closing the circuit. Cool. Let's go take a shower and head into the day. And then you move on.
That's amazing. Well, I love this because we're starting to bring in the aspect of community. I would say this is a two-person community. In our membership, our Climax, we have a membership community called Climax, and our theme this quarter is actually sex magic, which was I feel like I totally called you in for this episode when we connected on Instagram again. I was like, oh my God, Josefina. And can you really speak to the power of sex magic within community and how to do sex magic in with community? Is that a thing?
It is a thing. Yes, it absolutely is a thing. And it's such a fun, amazing thing to do. I really enjoy doing sex magic in community. And whether it's the community that I cultivate in my women's programs, because I lead that in all of my women's groups, or if it's in the in-person community, if you're lucky enough to, which I've been blessed enough to be able to do sex magic in my community with my friends, with peers and with best friends. And it's so It's so juicy. It's so potent. It really amplifies the feeling and the desire. And in doing it in community, also what I find is that we all become these magical permission slips for one another. Instead of keeping it into a solo practice, we really create a circuitry of energy that becomes this portal for magic, this portal for transformation. And so doing it in community is fun and sexy, and it is also edgy because people hear you make sounds in your pleasure, right? Times will come up of, oh my gosh, how are they going to hear me? And now we're friends, or is that going to be awkward afterwards or not? So it's great because it actually creates more intimacy. You get to really share intimate moments, which builds intimacy. So the way that I've worked with doing sex magic in community, and actually I was with some friends of mine at the end of last year in Mexico, and some of my girlfriends who are also teachers, they facilitated, which was really nice to be in the position of receiving and not facilitating. And I loved it. And so it's about gathering again, same thing, creating a very safe space as a community, uninterrupted, clear, and depends on if you're doing it with men and women in the community or if it's just all women. Then there's different dynamics and energies around, consent, around permission, around, again, allowing everyone to be unabashed and unshamed in their process, and knowing that this is a very safe space to go deep, to fully express yourself. And once we have that established, that solid container for that ceremonial ritual, then we get to go in. And so usually there's one person that will facilitate, or two people that can facilitate through similar practices, laying down, connecting to your breath, coming back to your intention. What do you want to manifest? What do you want to desire? Build the energy. And then we scream it out loud. And then what we'll do is we'll start to actually do physical touching. So we will start to stroke our pussy and our clit. We will move, and we're laying down, and we're allowing ourselves to really open up in the pleasure and make the sounds. And as it's building again and building again, one of the guides will speak again in how to relax. And so that's one of the things. It's like, as you're in the process, continuing to stay as relaxed as possible. And then it'll happen when someone's building their energy. And just like when we're doing this, I started laughing. You felt it. You felt it, right? Katie felt it, and then Madison felt it, and then Lindsay felt it. And then suddenly we're elevating each other in the vibrations of our desire and of our magic. So we're going higher and higher. And so in a group, we're really transmuting in that ceremonial space any shame around sexuality, any guilt around being around our community in this sacred practice that maybe is holding us back. We get to transmute that and dissolve that. We get to be in our pleasure together. And what I find is in these community practices, if there's these stories or ideas of comparison or judgment, when you're in a community sexual practice, it starts to heal a lot of that.
Ooh, I gotta say, the thought of it, equally entices me as much as makes me so uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh, for me, I'm not throwing sex parties anymore. I want to throw sex magic parties.
Madison. Yeah, it's really a powerful, experience to hear people that you love and you adore in their pleasure, celebrating them, receiving themselves and their pleasure, and how good that feels for us to feel the energy, to be in the energy, right? To charge up in each other's energies. And that just supercharges, right? Supercharges the portal, that vortex of possibility and magic. It's like you all take off in this pleasure spaceship of just orgasms and pleasure and freedom, liberation, opportunity, possibility. And it is so fun. And it can be very intimidating and scary in the beginning because it is very revealing, and it does expose where we may feel insecure around our own sexuality or our body. And that can be confronting. And that's why there's a part of this which is healing.
I definitely
to step into a container like
feel
that.
called towards it, and that's exactly what's coming up for me. Like every unhealed trauma, every insecurity, every like vulnerable thing that could potentially come up, like I'm very present to that, and the healing power of it, and like it's going to take something to like really fully participate in something like that. Whew.
Yeah.
It will. And you may or may not feel comfortable the very first time that you participate going into a full orgasmic climax. And again, reminding ourselves that that's okay. That's okay. We're not in a group setting to perform. We're not here to meet and match everyone. We're here to meet ourselves in the container of community who's supporting us becoming our most liberated versions of ourselves. So can we still stay connected to our intention of why we're there? And maybe that sex magic practice is primarily a practice not to manifest money or an opportunity, but to truly manifest your freedom, to manifest your liberation.
All right.
To manifest more self-love.
Do you know how to lead these, Josefina?
Yes, she does.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Oh, great.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes, I do, my love.
And so in your community, are you finding that it's a mix in terms of relationship styles? It doesn't sound like it's explicitly a polyamorous or non-monogamous community. It sounds like it's anyone who's called toward this as a modality. So in your community, do you have a mixture of different types of relationship styles?
Yes, I do. And we have a lot of monogamous relationships. We have monogamists who've also opened and explored open, but are not considered polyamory. So they wouldn't necessarily consider themselves to be non-monogamous because they are committed to one another in a devotional relationship. They will at certain times choose to open their container from time to time with one other individual. So by their definition, they wouldn't even consider themselves to be, non-monogamous, although, technicality. So yes, there's a variety. There are those who are also single. There are those who are in open relationships. So there is a variety of them. And when we do it with women, it's really beautiful because none of that is even really thought about or brought to the table. And when we come in a group with men and women, it's again, the men are there for their practice. So the women are there for their practice. And so what I find in my community, though, is the level of awareness is aligned. So the people who are in our community know the value of this work, respect this work, aren't here just to come into a space to see women get off, right? So there's that piece. Like the intention is, wow, I want to be in these ancient rituals and sacred space with really powerful women who are willing to do this courageous work and be in that container with them. And also have myself be expressed in the energy of what I feel true in my masculinity and be vulnerable and be seen in front of women as well. So it's healing really for both sides. It's really that transcendence of even the masculine, feminine, or the male, female dynamics when it comes to sexuality from that root level, from that root chakra level around, power or control. Like that stuff dissolves in the space. Right.
I want to know. I want to hear from Katie. Katie, would you be? I want to know. Would you? Is this something that calls to you? Would you want to participate in something like a healing modality like this?
Well, we did the breast massage using sex magic in our virtual climax community, and I did really enjoy that, but it was in the privacy of my own home, So, I know it's a hard question for me right now because I don't want to be in groups of any kind at the moment. Yeah. So, it's not something that I would do at the moment, and it's definitely, I don't know, very intimidating.
Yeah,
at the idea of like climaxing or masturbating with other people. It's probably something I'd want to do on my own or with my partner.
Yeah, I get that.
Maybe with someone like Josefina.
Yeah,
would
that's what I'm like
be guiding
Josefina.
us.
I'm going to be reaching out to you offline, seeing what we can create here.
Yeah.
And with that being said, you are such a plethora of resources. And can you share? I know that you have a ton of resources for anyone who's really more interested in this conversation. Can you share some resources that were a great place for people to start?
Yeah. So in the sense of starting, just for clarification, starting their journey with sex magic or starting their journey with Tantra?
Both. Mostly sex magic. I think that's what we've been focused on today. Yeah.
Okay, so sex magic, like Margot Anand, again, is like one of, the pioneers who really brought this into the Western world. So what I would say is you can definitely check out her book. And that's a great book that you can really start to dive into and explore. And that book is called The Art of Sexual Magic. I mean, that's what it's called. So that is a great book and a great resource to dive in from, a really trusted, authentic source and really, the grandmother of bringing this to the West. So that is a great resource. I would also say, listen to our earlier podcast about sex magic and really listen to and find resources that there are many other areas. I would say that I'm a great resource for anyone who's really interested in that as well. I mean, definitely come and reach out to me directly. I'm be happy to speak to you about it. And I also am going to be doing this year live workshops that are going to be more PG to PG-13 around sex magic for abundance specifically. So I will be doing that as well. So I think that those are some resources. So people can find me directly on my website, or on Instagram as well. And I think also a good girlfriend of mine, Layla Martin, is doing or has done recently some sex magic videos as well. So I would suggest checking her out. She's really awesome as well. She was just on the show.
We just had her on the show. She's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She's awesome. She's great. She's really lovely. So check her out too. She's a magical woman as well.
And then just for our listeners, for the people who are listening, can you share with them the best way to get in touch with you? What is your website, your Instagram?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So get in touch with me on my website. It's my name, JosefinaBashout.com. And you can check out the different products I have on there. So if someone's uncomfortable working with their sexual energy, I do have specifically a sex breath masterclass on there that you can work with at the privacy of your own home. My radical radiance rituals also on there that you can do in the privacy of your own home to help get all of that going. And then follow me on Instagram. So Pussy Priestess, and it's 3 S's in pussy because Instagram doesn't really allow it. And I'm also launching my own podcast, which is called the Pussy Priestess Show. So I will be doing a bunch of different practices and things on there. And I'll have to have
we would love that.
I would love to.
Absolutely. Amazing. Well, Josefina, as always, I feel so zenned out whenever I'm around you. and you just bring such, it's really evident your commitment to bringing this information in such a loving way to as many people as possible. And it's so authentic and it shines through you. And you really are walking the walk of this. Like, you're such a beautiful example. And anyone who's listening, please follow Josefina. She's the real deal. Her content is incredible, and she's a fantastic resource if you're looking to really dive in and have sex magic be a part of your everyday life, which I definitely think is an amazing thing to do for yourself. So just thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be back and be with you ladies
amazing.
Again.
Awesome. All right, Clitorati. And with that, we are going to see you next Tuesday. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.